What's up, everybody? We're back with another new episode of the Last Wave podcast. We dive into topics like ghosts, UFOs, cryptids, conspiracies, and a whole lot more. As always, thanks for listening. It does mean a whole lot. Check out the Facebook page if you haven't already. Same name and photo. A lot of cool stuff on there so far, and a lot more planned. I usually try to put something up just about every day. So thanks again. Let's jump into today's episode. Today we're going over another deep sea denizen. I got a lot of love on the Kraken episode, and that was really fun researching all that. So today we're actually going to go over one of my favorite prehistoric monsters, the Megalodon, the largest predator ever known to hunt the world's oceans. The massive beast lived millions of years ago and is said to be very extinct. It's said to be really gone. These sharks could grow to a suspected 60 feet in length, around the size of a bus, pretty much. They would eat small whales and large squid whole. If you haven't, on a quick note, I may mention it later again, but there is a movie called Meg. It's based off a book series like basically called The Trench. It's a really good book series. I highly recommend it. A lot. I would say it's better than the movie for sure. The movie is Hollywood, it's action packed and all that excitement, but there's definitely parts of the book that are better. I guess that's always really how it goes. Anyway, so back to the beast at hand. The teeth of the Megalodon can still be found on beaches today if you are lucky, and some of them fetch at very high prices on the antiques market. So that tells me that the love for the monster is out there. Again, as I said, they're a movie. And with that series of books, there's like 4 or 5. So maybe they will continue the movies. They didn't leave it open. So I guess we'll see. But there is quite a good storyline in the books. So I definitely look up The Trench on eBay or wherever you get books from. And you'll find all of them just by looking that up. Actually, the one thing that got me about the movie is the science behind how the Meg was able to get to the surface. And I'll go over that real quick. So in the movie, they basically, oh my gosh, I don't know if I have time to go through all this. So in the movie, the Megalodon survived in the Marianas Trench by living under a thermal vent layer, basically creating a superheated area where they could survive and still thrive in today's ocean. So it's basically a barrier of superheated water and then cold water above that all the way to the surface. So they basically were hidden down there. Now in the movie, more or less, they have to go down to the bottom of the Marianas Trench for one thing or another. I'm not going to spoil everything. But basically, they have to leave very quickly because they see this creature. They see the Megalodon. So they actually say in the movie that this shark escaped because of the small amount of basically thermal heat that was released when they exited the layer. I'm like, come get out of here. All right, that's pointless. The way in the book was much better. Basically, there was another large Megalodon, and it got entangled in the lines of what these people were doing at the bottom of the trench. It was basically being pulled up, and it was being constricted so tight through the water that it was bleeding. So the other bigger Megalodon was basically feeding on it as it was going up, using its blood to heat itself as it broke the surface. So much cooler, much more scientific, and honestly, again, way cooler. But again, it's a movie. I'll get off of that train. So anyway, so the whole thing is that they are supposed to be extinct, and we're supposed to be extinct millions of years ago. But we see with creatures like the coelacanth, I believe they're in Australia and other things. Those are really ancient looking fish. I'll try to get a picture of one up on the Facebook page. So that way you at least know what I'm talking about if you don't know what I'm talking about already. The coelacanth, they're still living after they were thought to have been died off millions of years as well. The fish looks really ancient and is a great leftover from a bygone era that obviously stuff we'll never see in real life. So that's a really, really cool fish. Most people would happily agree that the Meg is extinct, but no one really knows. Another example would be the giant squid. We didn't get them live on camera until a few years ago. The depths of the sea remain vastly unexplored, and the science they use in the book and the movie, kind of show that they these types of large creatures, and again with the kraken, these types of large creatures that are reportedly supposed to be living in cold water, it just doesn't make a lot of sense, but it could be. Let's see, trying to figure out where I'm at in the show notes. Give me a minute. There are also a few pictures online, and I'll try to post them on the Facebook page as well. One of supposed megalodon. One that surfaced, pardon the pun, the last couple of years is a great white that was reeled in by some type of fishing vessel with this is a big, huge shark, but it's got a massive bite taken out of the side of it. Like it's nearly bitten in half. I thought that was really cool. I will try to find a picture of that for sure. Another is an alleged vintage photo taken aboard a surface ship, showing the dorsal fin and tail fin above the water. So clearly, if that animal is real, it appears to be 40 to 60 feet in length. Again, you have some photos that may lend credence to the Meg still being around. No first-hand reports, in the last, 100 years. Well, not 100 years. Last 50 years. Other than like those two pictures that could possibly lend the belief of something being there. So no first-hand reports that I could find of people seeing a megalodon. Not many. Again, no first-hand reports, sadly. But I believe if they attack like great whites, they attack as an ambush predator, which is they find you, they swim way down below, and then they come up from the bottom very quickly. That's why you see all these Shark Week footage of these great whites jumping out of the water, because that's how they attack. So every time you see a megalodon, it's modeled basically as just a huge ass great white shark. That's really what it looks like. You're probably a little stockier around the middle, but basically that's what you're getting. So it would make sense that they would hunt in the same way. So if you were unlucky enough to see one, probably wouldn't be for too long. You're going to be in the air, and then you're going to be gone, and that's it. So that may be why we have reports of missing vessels. It's fun to speculate. It's kind of cool to think those creatures. It's not cool. Depends on who you are. I think it's cool that those creatures could still be out there. So yeah, if people are seeing them, it's probably not for too long. So that's an open and shut case, if you will. Pardon the pun on that one as well. There's also one incredible piece of footage out of Asia, where an undersea camera is filming what looks like a feeding cage on the sea floor. You can see sharks swimming around it, and the angle of the camera makes the cage look like the size of a small box or something, but apparently it's quite large, almost like a shark diving cage or some sort. And that's why the video is really weird at first. You're just like, okay, well, this is kind of random. But again, the angle of the camera makes it look different. But apparently it is actually a large cage. At some point, the smaller fish and more normal sized sharks move away, and a huge brown shark moves into frame. There's a lot of speculation about this footage, and I'll try to put that up on the Facebook page as well, because it does really look cool. It's not really a megalodon per se. Well, obviously we have no idea what it honestly looked like as far as coloration, but it looked more along the lines of a basking shark. It was just big and brown. It looked rather slow, but it was a large predatory shark. And it wasn't a great white. You can tell by the coloring. So again, I'll try to get that footage up on the Facebook page. Definitely worth checking that out. It's really, really cool. But again, not a megalodon per se, but definitely a large shark of some sort. So, opinion is kind of still up in the air. It's always hard to say with the ocean. We are literally discovering new areas and new animals daily. The lack of physical evidence other than teeth makes it hard to say. But I do believe that unlike whales, sharks sink when they die. I don't know if my science is real perfect on that, but I'm pretty sure that is correct. So they actually sink. So if there's evidence, it could be covered at the bottom of the ocean. You know, fish teeth get washed away, and by the tides they end up on shores and things of that nature. So if there is evidence, it could be at the bottom of the ocean. We may never really know, or someone may come up with footage from a sub tomorrow. It could go either way. Again, that's basically where I rest on the whole Megalodon situation. Discovery Channel did come out with a couple like mockumentaries, is what they were called, a couple years ago, and one was on mermaids, and they didn't tell anyone that it was fake at first, so people were losing their absolute minds, thinking mermaids were real. And this tells you how like gullible people are sometimes. It's really kind of terrible, but basically everyone figured out that it was a mockumentary, and then Discovery Channel, it may have been National Geographic, but I'm pretty sure it was Discovery, did another one on the Megalodon, and some people saw that and still believe that. But they did a whole bunch of stuff. They did pictures, videos, found footage, audio recordings. I mean, there was the whole 9 yards. So, people obviously believed that and lost their minds over that. So, it's probably extinct. But with a lot of things, like I said, the ocean, you have no earthly idea what could be down there. Again, we're finding new stuff literally almost every day. So it is kind of interesting. I mean, I know it's hard to believe that there's massive creatures, at the bottom, but they've been reported and seen throughout history through different types of people in different areas all over the globe. Large unexplainable creatures like the Kraken and whales the size of small islands. I mean, these things have been reported, and we obviously, most people know, we know far less about the ocean than we do about the moon and Mars. So it's definitely something to keep in mind. But that was fun. I love researching the Megalodon. I read the Trench book series like probably 10 or 12 years ago. So I absolutely am fascinated with it. Love researching it. Definitely encourage everyone to. And I'll try to get those pictures and video up on the Facebook page. So definitely check those out. I guess that'll do it for today. As always, thanks for watching. One last mention, we did just throw up a Patreon page. Obviously, a lot of people know YouTube doesn't pay anything, and I've been doing YouTube for a long time and haven't made a cent. So I'll be putting up exclusive content on the Patreon page as well, and it's super cheap. I think it's $1 or $2 a month, and for more exclusive content, it's like $5, and you get shout out for being a producer at that point. So something cool to check out. You can look it up with the same name, same image, all that good, helpful stuff. So again, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.